Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and as we are approaching February, I went through my ink swatches and really considered of the inks in my collection which ones I might want to use in February. I am traditionally not a pink and purple ink user, so when I think about classic February themes, those are not inks that I tend to gravitate towards. However, add a little murkiness to that pink or purple and I'm here for it, or add a gray to it and I'm here for it. So when I finish this swatch page, I doubt anybody's going to look at this page and go, I know what month that's for. That's for February. So I'm just going to give you that disclosure. It's a little all over the map, but these are the inks that I pulled out. Now, the other thing I will say is many of these are samples. I am hoping to really use a lot of my samples this year and downsize that part of my collection. So this is my attempt to do that. Okay, let's get started. The first one is from the 2024 Diamine ink vent, and it's called Cranberry. This was a rather controversial ink as it was noted as a standard ink. However, it is a sheen. So just throwing that out there. All right. I am going to, I believe, zoom this in. Now, if you've been around my channel for any amount of time, you know I will rather consistently say if you can hear my son in the background, I am sorry. I will say that same thing. He is gaming with friends and he is quite enthusiastic. However, I do some editing to cut down on the background noise. So chances are you may not hear it. All right, so this is Diamine. Cranberry. Another thing that I will throw out there, and I'm going to just say this is at the very end. Oop, that is not, there we go. I think I zoomed in too much. Sorry. The very last ink that I'm going to swatch is one that I created. I mixed two inks together. So I believe it's Elise Morgan, and if I'm wrong on that, sorry, he's really loud right now. If I'm wrong on that, I super apologize, but I think it's Elise Morgan. She and her daughter do a lot of custom ink mixes, and I keep thinking, gosh, I really want to try that. And so I went ahead and challenged myself to do that for this month. So this is a sample shared with me by Zen of the Pen. This is the Esterbrook Back to the Land collection. And this one is called Incredible Rock. Oops. Esterbrook, Incredible Rock. My water jar is such a bright color of fuchsia from Cranberry. And if this is your first time seeing this video where I'm swatching out the inks that I am considering for the next month, what I am hoping that you will do is in the comments share with me which 5 you would pick. I do tend to pick 5 inks per month. Anything more than that, I really can't get through it. And at times, even those 5 are a little challenging to get through. So I love to know what combinations you all would put together. I almost spelled birthday. Birmingham Pen Co. And this is Sunset Blush. This was an ink that I received for my birthday this year from my husband. I have been itching to ink it up, but it hasn't really fit in a color scheme the last few months. So I may just kind of push it this month and go ahead and add that. Plus it is in the pinkish family. It's like a peachy color. This next one is a sample passed along by Fountain Pen Insanity. I recently did a swatch video, which actually is going to post after this. Oops. It is what it is. This is Tassia. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Ume Murasaki. This is a really interesting ink. I was thinking it would be a little bit more blushy pink, but it's definitely a little bit more brown, and I am absolutely here for that. Okay, next up is a sample from Priscilla, who does a fantastic job of labeling her samples. It looks like it's typed. It could just be a type font, and it's printed, but it looks very fancy. Oopsies. Ooh. Stonecutter's Song. See, this is my idea right here of a Valentine's ink. It is a murky pink with a little gray lean. I love everything about that. All right, next up is another ink by Waringle. And this one is Dawn. And I am going to butcher the pronunciation, but Coyote. Somebody well over a year ago, I believe it was, gave me a phonetic pronunciation of that name. And I practiced it a few times, but then haven't used it or had the opportunity to practice in months. So, yes. And actually, I'm just realizing my custom mix will not be at the very end. So for those of you that were just going to stick around for that and then bounce, you won't have to stay for the whole video. Now this ink I have had in my collection for oh so long, and I swatched it and I loved it, and then I never inked it up. And a viewer recently commented that I believe this was their favorite gray. And oh no, sorry, that'll be a one later on. Apologies. Ignore that. This is one that I did ink up probably close to 2 years ago. And I loved it. And I believe I went to buy a bottle and it was sold out. And then the next time I went to look at it and it was in stock, I didn't want to just purchase bottles because I was realizing I had a lot. So I kind of held off on using this ink because I was afraid of running out of it. And I just need to separate myself from that. So Inky Barra Brown Gray. And when it dries, it gets this little tiny hint of pink, which is why I thought it would be good for this month. So this is Birmingham Pen Company. Plowman's Pebble. I was worried about fitting that all in. That's a really lovely light brown. All right, next one is another sample from Ink Journal. And I say another because, oh, hold on. There's one coming up in a bit that's also, actually 2 coming up in a bit that are also Ink Journal. Apologies. Getting ahead of myself. Now this one, I probably should have put it in a row with Stonecutter Song and Don Quixote, but this is a very light ink. And I'm not sure, given my collection is mostly fines and extra fines, that I have a pen that would really show it off. But this is one of the Alpha inks, and this is Sagittarius, or SGR. Oh, I love Plowman's Pebble. Look at that amazing shading going on. All right. This is Sailor Ink Studio number 252, and this is going to have some chromo shading that will come out, which you can already see a little bit of it. This one has a shimmer, so I'm just going to agitate that. Not many, only 2. 2 have shimmers. This is one of them. And this is another Colorverse ink. So this one is a purple gray. And it's called Iris Nebula. Okay, and this is my custom ink. Oh, I fibbed again. This one has a shimmer, so this is actually three shimmers. And I just did the tiniest little bit, just in the event that this is one that doesn't float my boat, doesn't work out. But it reminds me a little bit of Robert Oster. I think it's Violet Dreams it's called. And this is Waringal. 12th Night. I feel like there is 12. I feel like I did not spell that right. And Birmingham Pen Company. Over here, there's an F. So sterling silver. And I'm just going to put an asterisk so that I know it was custom. Now, Birmingham Pen Company Sterling Silver is an ink that it goes down and it's one color, and when it dries down, it's another. So I'll be interested to see what this ink does as it continues to dry. But 12th Night, in my experience, keeping in mind I primarily use fine and extra fine nibs, it is not super legible. So it's a very, very light pink, but it has this beautiful blue shimmer. So I often want to use it, and if I remember correctly, it's also a Atlas Stationer's exclusive collaboration with Waringal. So I want to use it, but I just am not finding the right opportunity. Okay, so this was the one that one of my viewers said this was their favorite gray. And this was also a sample from the Ink Journal Ink Flight. This is Laughing Kookaburra's Crest. So it's an ink that I really loved when I swatched, and then I never used because I had a small sample, and oh gosh, what if I run out? I need to start using those. Ooh, that's pretty. All right, so this is my last shimmer, and it's another ink from the 2024 Ink Event Calendar, and this one is 100% an outlier on this page. Oh, look, the Incubator Brown Gray, it's really leaned into a green with a little bit of a pink. It's very, very beautiful. All right, so this is a Chameleon Shimmer, and this is Diamine Mint Twist. This is not an ink that I really thought I would use, but when I think about using these pens for journaling, I thought this would be a really nice accent color with any of the purples, the pinks, even the browns. So that's my outlier. And then last but certainly not least is another sample that was shared with me from a viewer. And this is an ink that if anyone finds it for sale, I want to know, because I do want to get a bottle of this one. And here is why. Notice this is going down this really nice bright purple, and then it's almost immediately changing color. And it's going to change all the way over to green. This is an ink by Tono and Limbs, and it's titled Trust You. And with the fact that it has the letter U, it reminds me of the Valentine's Day, the word heart candies that have all the phrases on them. So this was one of the first inks that I thought of for the month of February, mostly for that reason. But I also just love how this particular ink reacts so differently on every single paper that I have swatched this ink on. And I kind of want to find an excuse to keep talking so you can keep seeing it dry down. But you can see on this edge here, you've got the light purple, that beautiful lavender color, and then you've got the green sitting right on top of it. It's really, really, really lovely. So let's just take a peek a little bit closer. Again, as that is drying. So you have Diamine Cranberry, which has a gold sheen, green sheen. Esterbrook Incredible Rock. Birmingham Pen Company Sunset Blush, and I love the edging of these letters. It's like a brown edging. It's beautiful. Tasia Ume Murasaki, which has a green sheen to it. Waringal Stonecutter Song. It's just a really lovely color. It is. Waringal Don Quixote. Ikebara Brown Gray. Birmingham Pen Company Plowman's Pebble. Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Colorverse Sagittarius. I am definitely showing my preference for some of these inks. Sailor Ink Studio number 252, which is a chromo shading ink. It's got this really bright pink, a little bit of a purple tone to it, and then it does have some blue that comes through, and here it's really coming more of a grayish navy in the more saturated areas, but I have seen on other papers it is a brighter blue. And for example, here's that same ink right there, which actually it looks pretty similar. It was before it dried that much down. Oh, and here's my custom mix right there. Number 15 is my custom. So, oh, and there it is there. Actually, now that it's dry, oh gosh, that was a big bump. So sorry. Okay, let me go in order. We have the Colorverse Iris Nebula, which has this beautiful champagne shimmer to it. and this really lovely light purple. Wearing Gold 12th Night in Birmingham Pen Company Sterling Silver. It's got really nice shading. It is this really nice grayish purple. It's similar to Iris Nebula, a little bit more, what's the word? It's a little darker, and the shimmer is blue as opposed to champagne. Van Diemen's Laughing Kookaburra's Crest. That section right there is really interesting. It's almost like there's a blue trying to come through. And I do think a little shimmer from the water carried over. Diamine Mint Twist, that is a really lovely color ink, not one that I gravitate towards, but I would be very happy to use that. And then Tono and Limbs, Trust You, which is still drying, but look at that. And again, if you look at when it goes down, it's this really, really bright, light purple. And then as it dries, this green just comes right on out. You've still got the purple, but it's this really beautiful chromo shade. And fun fact, for me growing up, my favorite colors were purple and green. My bedroom was purple and green. So that ink was really perfect. When I got to know that ink, it just was kind of, for me, a big throwback to that time in my life. So please feel free to drop in the comments which 5 inks you would select from this offering. Again, apologies, it's not stereotypical February Valentine's Day. That's just not my vibe, and I want to use the inks that I have, not just follow a trend. I want my writing to bring me joy, and so I would say writing with any of these inks this month would bring me joy. So thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate that, and I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.